everybody, and welcome back to Around the Association. Now, Draymond Green, he's been busy ever since the off season. Ever since he stole off on his teammate Jordan Poole, his name has been all woven throughout this season. He's made different statements on his podcast, and Draymond, like him, love him, hate him, he's always one that's going to speak his mind. Not always sure that's the best thing, but you kind of you know who you're dealing with when you're dealing with Draymond Green. Now, he most recently went on a podcast with Taylor Rooks. Taylor Rooks covers a wide range of sports and has great relationships all throughout the industry, NFL, and the NBA. She is, one of the bright stars within this sports journalism. So I do try to watch her content whenever I get a chance. Now, Draymond Green, someone who I think you can say prides himself on being the heart, the toughness for the Golden State Warriors. But one role that Draymond has actually leaned into, at least in my estimation, tell me if you're wrong, is the bad guy. He does it from his trash talking, getting in teammates' faces, even cold clocking a teammate, but then also getting on social media, having his back and forths. No one else, Klay Thompson pops a little bit online and a little bit in the media, but Draymond goes back and forth. He's more antagonistic with starting conflict between teams, or speaking up if he feels like the Golden State Warriors as a whole has been disrespected, or for that matter, if LeBron's been disrespected, he's definitely going to step up. But that's a conversation for another day. But he is clearly leaned into his villain role, or his role of, the outcast, that kind of thing. So I thought it was interesting point he made on Taylor Rooks when he seemingly pulled Trae Young's name out of the thin air. Now, Trae Young, we know he's a young star in this league, one of the best point guards in the NBA. Took the Atlanta Hawks to the Eastern Conference Finals a few years ago. Trae is a stud, no question about it. And as the Hawks continue to get better, then I look for them to make another playoff run at some point. But Draymond seemingly pulled his name out of the air, and I guess it's based on, the way he embraced the Knicks fans, which, they were raining down showers of boos, and they didn't like his showmanship one game. And the Knicks was pretty bad, but that's what you want your fan base to do. You want them to kind of stand up if you feel like someone's showing you up. But I don't know what you expect the player to do. He's putting on a show right there on Broadway. He's going to lean into that. Now, he's done it a few more times in a couple of other cities where he'll take a bow, but I didn't feel like it was overly disrespectful to the team or the fan bases. So I thought it was odd when Draymond Green actually brought that up and brought his name up. Take a listen to what Dray had to say in regards to Trae Young.
I'll give you an example. Trae Young. And I personally think Trae has in his mind he's taken on this villain role. But I personally think it's the wrong approach.
Why?
Because being a villain ain't fun. You only get so much out of out of shutting someone up. How many times you gonna shut them up? And then
then what?
Then what? They still hate you, you're still looked at as the villain, and blah, blah, blah. I have kids. You don't know how that's gonna affect them, how people may. And so it's it's just no fun forcing people to not like you. And so I think Like for a guy like Trae, like, nah, man, go the opposite way.
But you're saying like almost don't intentionally make life harder.
Exactly. Like because it doesn't just make life harder on the basketball court. Like it make life harder all the way around. Because again, that same judgment just walks with you. And first you're the underdog and you're the villain and you take on that role and everybody love it. And very soon after, then it becomes distasteful. They hate it. They hate you. They're slandering you. They're slandering your name and all of this. And so it's like, it has a quick moment of like where it's cool and it's fun. But then it goes astray and you're just kind of stuck in this space.
Wow. So, I don't know. For me, it's surprising, especially coming from Draymond Green, who I would say if you did a survey from just NBA fans and said, name me 5 players you look at as villains in the NBA, and you could do that with 1 million people, 1 million fans, Draymond's gonna make that top 5 at least 90% of the time minimum. No matter what fan base, he's gonna be in the top 5 and probably number 1 on over half of those ballots. So I'm wondering, is this kind of a cautionary tale of really what he's actually kind of had to deal with? And he did later on go and speak a little bit more about some of his own regrets, but to single Trae Young out, it seemed like there was at least even some other players that he could have singled out. I would even say someone like Ja Morant, who is, dancing on the court, kind of outlandish in his style. Again, that's his style. I don't personally have a problem with it. They got mad at Zion Williamson for doing a dunking at the end of the game playing the Phoenix Suns, so they calling that so people are going to be offended by whatever. But I just thought it was interesting that Draymond kind of target Trae Young as this, and I don't know that Trae Young, if you took that same survey, would make a top 5 villains in the NBA list. Maybe I'm tripping. Trae Young did respond to Draymond. This is what he put up right under the video of Draymond Green. Trae actually says, "Love hearing Dray, but can respectfully disagree on his thought on how I think." I like that. Hey, commenting on how I think is different. But back to what he said about my disagree on his thought on how I think about my situation. Someday people will hear my whole side and how I think about everything. Great listen though. That's a good point, Trae. Nobody can get inside your head and tell tell why you do or say anything or what you're leaning into and what your intentions are unless you share those truthfully. But let me know what you guys think. Was Draymond kind of out of pocket? I mean, I guess he was telling from his viewpoint what he see Trae Young doing. I personally feel like Trae was having fun with the Knicks fans, and I can even say the Philadelphia fans in that playoff series. But since then, I mean, it's not like he's going out every night to me to be the villain. Let me know what y'all think. Be sure to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and I'm out.